Brothers in Tech is a weekly podcast focused on personal and home technology, helping provide you, our fellow brothers and sisters in tech, with some information, assistance, and recommendations. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Brothers in Tech. My name is Alan Jackson, and as you are seeing right now is just Brother in Tech. And I'm flying solo at the minute. My brother, who is normally the co-host of the show, has yet to show up, but that's okay. You know, we're gonna kind of power through this. I can do this. I'm a confident individual. I can host a show on my own for a few moments anyway, and see when he's able to join us. He possibly got hung up on something, so he is a little delayed. But regardless, this is Brothers in Tech, where we typically will be discussing home family technology. We're going to talk about different services, products, methods of using technology in your home, family, or personal life. And every so often we get together and not only just talk about some of those topics and dig into something very specific, but occasionally, like on a monthly basis, we have what we call our Brothers in Tech Suggestions episode. And that is one of these episodes where we will actually bring suggestions to the table of technology that we have been either actively using or fans of that we'd like to recommend, or maybe some new technology we just started getting into. And we got a pretty good feeling about it, and we see some real value and benefits to the way it can enhance our use of technology in the home or family. So that is tonight's episode, as we're going to do some suggestions and recommendations. I do have a few to share. I may be sharing them just with you, and that's okay. We're going to have fun doing that if that's the case. But again, if my brother does join us, I will certainly pop him right in the show, and we will let him join us in midstream here. How's that? While we're kind of here getting prepped and waiting for that, just a couple reminders. We do have a website up at brothersintech.com, and just note that there are hyphens in between those words. So it is brothers-in-tech.com is the website that you want to make sure you visit. That's where we're working on. It's still a little evolving. We've got a little more work to do on it, but we've been putting the latest episodes of this podcast up there. And we are also going to be adding a running list of our suggestions, different tech suggestions like the ones I'm going to be sharing with you here in just a little bit. So that's brothers-in-tech.com is where you can go for that. And if you end up having any questions, either now or after the show or anytime in the future, that either we can be of assistance with, or maybe you want to follow up on a topic or a recommendation you heard on a previous episode, you can drop us a note at info@themesh.tv. The Mesh is our podcast network that we are a part of. You can find more about the podcast network at themesh.tv. But if you want to send us an email, info@themesh.tv is where you can do that, as well as you can do that from the website as well. Let me start, before I get into my recommendations, I do want to kind of do a little bit of a follow-up to a recommendation I did last month. So last month when we had our Brothers in Tech Suggestions episode, I made the recommendation of a pretty simple product. It was a charging cable, but a charging cable for multiple devices at one time. Let me see if I can get this right. If you guys recall, this was a charging cable that I pointed to that purchased off of Amazon, and I was really excited about this cable because, as you can see from the structure of the cable, it is a singular cable to plug into your computer or wall charger, and allows you to charge multiple devices all at the same time. We have a USB-C connection, which is pretty standard now for a lot of newer computers and laptops, and even some of the latest the iPad Pros use a USB-C connection. You have the Lightning connection, which is the standard connection for your iPhone. Then it also has a micro USB, which is typical for a lot of non-Apple phones or other devices are using a lot of these, or some of the newer phones are also using USB-C as well. But because I'm a Mac guy, an Apple guy, this has also got an Apple Watch charger on it as well. So this is great. I'm very excited about this cable. I recommended it last month. Here's the only caveat, and this is why I probably need to wait maybe a few more weeks before I make an official recommendation. This will charge devices, and this will charge more than one device simultaneously, although it's a little hit or miss, I've noticed, on the charging at the same time. It doesn't quite charge at the full speed. It takes a lot longer to charge than you might see with other cables. But the real hang up on this cable right now is the fact that if you were to connect it to your computer and you wanted to actually use this cable to connect to a phone or device to be able to uh, copy or transfer files to it, in other words, you want to use it as a data cable, it is not working for that. So this is purely a charging cable. So in other words, the speeds that this cable carries are not really strong enough for copying files or connecting it to your computer to actually use it as a data device or to move things to it or copy things from it. But for charging, it'll work. It's just slow. It's just slow charger, but it will still let you charge multiple devices at the same time. So giving that out there as a follow up to my recommendation last month, not quite a full retraction, but I'm just saying a little bit of a caveat that if you wanted to use a cable like this to actually connect your devices to do any kind of data transferring or copying of files or anything else between them, it's not going to work for you. And just be prepared for very slow charging on your devices as well. So that's that. We've got that. Okay, I'm still flying solo. Still don't know where my co-host is. Maybe next week we'll do an episode on calendars and time management. Maybe that will be the topic that we will dig into when my brother joins us again. But until then, let's go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and dig into some of my recommendations. I mean, I've got think I've got at least somebody watching right now and maybe watching later on a recorded version. So I might as well go ahead and do this. This will be fun. I want to talk about a piece of tech that I just integrated into our house just recently. It's actually in the frame of video that you're watching right now. It is a fan. So this ceiling fan right over my shoulder is a fan that I'm excited about because and I'm getting ready to tell you, but hold on. I just got word that my brother is joining, and I really don't want to make any of these recommendations without him here. So he's getting ready to join. And when he joins, I'm just going to pop him right in the room and he's going to take part in the conversation. And he will be flat footed. He will not be prepared, but that's okay. He typically isn't. So we're just going to get him in here. I'm waiting to see when he pops in. I hope everybody's doing okay. This is weird. I'm not used to just talking to a camera without somebody else's face there. So this is a very odd experience for me. Thank you for being a part of it and hanging out with me on this. He should be joining any second now. Brothersintech.com, brothers-in-tech.com is where you want to go to see it. Yep. See Shane Flint. This is what he gets for showing up late. Exactly. I agree. This is what he gets to do. He just has to jump right in the show and play catch up as he comes in. So, you know, what's probably going to happen is he's probably going to tell me that his computer crashed or something, which would be kind of fitting for a show like this to have a computer issue causing him not to be able to join the show. Live internet streaming, guys. This is what it's all about. This is what's fun, is that we get to deal with this. All right, I'm going to go ahead and start talking about my other suggestion. He'll join in. So the ceiling fan right over my corner is, oh, here he is. I'm going to let him get his camera situated and then we'll pop him right in. So I will be repeating this for my brother here just in this minute when he comes in. The ceiling fan. Very excited to talk about this and get to this in just a minute. Brian, are you good? Do you want me to bring you in? He's still working. Let's say, oh, there we go. And ladies and gentlemen, here he is. Hey, Brian.
Hi, Alan. How are you? Can you hear me?
Fine. I can. Yeah, I can hear you.
So was this training exercise good for you to where you have to kind of do this on your own, or what?
Look, that was the most uncomfortable thing. I don't think I've ever done something where I'm just talking to a camera with no face or anything around me. At least I know there's other people on the other end.
Wow.
This is a little odd for the 10 minutes that you made me sit here and do this. So,
Well, I just wanted to kind of train you on the fact that it'd be nice if you
did a little
prepared
work on the show.
prepared once in a while for this,
Well,
and
that
so
puts me on
now
the
it's like, here
spot.
you
Now
go, here you go.
I'm not going to do this again. I am going to be very, very prepared. I was ready to run through the show by myself. I really was. I was prepped and ready. Like, he's not showing up. That's fine. I'm going to do this.
Oh man, I am
I hope
sorry.
everything's
I'm
okay.
sorry. Everything is good. Everything is
Good.
good. Yeah, no,
Good.
we had a contractor coming in to look at some things, and that kind of
Well,
went a
see,
little bit long.
that
So
would be it. Yeah.
yeah,
Got it.
yeah, wasn't quite planning for that. So where are
So,
you? Are you done? Are you finished?
just
Or
about, I'm just about done.
okay,
Yeah.
yeah, shortest episode
But
ever. Yeah.
before we get into our suggestions, just a reminder, next week's episode will be about calendars and time management. We're going to be spending our time talking about that. Right, Ryan?
I, I think I have a lot to offer within
Good. I
that.
think so
Yes.
too. All right, Brian. I was just getting into my first brothers in tech suggestion. And I was telling everybody, and I'm going to boot you off the screen just for a second, Brian,
Sure.
and go full screen here if I can. Um, yeah. So it is actually a fan. This
Mm.
ceiling fan right over my corner. It's brand new to this to the room here. And a couple reasons I got this fan, and I'm kind of excited about it. Let me see if I can. Yeah, I'm going to bring up the website to share a little bit about it. It's a Cavera made by Hunter, which is a pretty common name for a lot of ceiling fans, and they make a pretty decent variety. A lot of the ones you find at Home Depot and Lowe's and other department stores, but they have a line of their fans that are equipped with Wi-Fi connections, which is becoming pretty standard with a lot of ceiling fans. The idea that you could actually use an app on your phone to control the fan instead of necessarily having to rely on a wall switch. The reason, however, I went with this one in particular is that it also has HomeKit, Apple HomeKit built in. I believe it also has Alexa built in as well.
Mm.
So it is a ceiling fan, Wi-Fi controlled, but also voice controlled if you connect it up to your Apple HomeKit or your Alexa Amazon setup. Probably Google Home as well. I didn't really check to see if it was compatible with all three platforms, but normally if something's compatible with HomeKit, chances are pretty high it's going to be
Yeah.
compatible with the other ones as well.
Right.
A couple reasons with this. A, it's a pretty simple fan. I mean, I needed something pretty I don't want to say boring, but pretty standard, nothing too extravagant. And also from the cost standpoint, I think I was able to get this for about 160, which for a Wi-Fi
Not bad.
HomeKit ceiling fan is actually a pretty good price.
Yep.
And it worked for
Not
the
bad.
room that we're needing here. So um, I'll just kind of show you here. Let me turn this one off. If we come back to this, let me see if I can show. So right now, if I were to say, hey Siri, turn on my ceiling fan, here in just a moment, I will see here it click on. Yep. And there it goes over
Ooh.
the corner. Now, it is kind of nice too. That's not just an on and off thing. You actually can tell Siri or Alexa or whatever to go at different levels. So right now, by default, I think I had it about 25% speed. So I could actually say, hey, increase the fan speed to 75%, and it would start to go faster. Now it's got a light on it as well. It actually treats those independently. So I can actually control the fan or control the light with different commands. So, hey Siri, turn on the den fan light. And that should turn on the light right there behind me as well. The light also has different levels of brightness. Right now it's a pretty low level. I can go a lot brighter with it if I tell it to raise it to a higher level. When you're on your HomeKit view, if you use this with an Apple HomeKit, you can actually choose to control the fan and the light as two separate tiles, or you can combine them in the same tile and have two different switches within the tile, however you choose to do it. So it's nice in that I can tie in the light with all the other lights in my room here. So if I say, hey Siri, turn off dim lights, then all of the lights around me here in just a second should go off. There they go. So the fan light is tied in with that. If I say, hey Siri, turn on the dim lights, they're all going to come back on, but the fan is still acting independently.
1 sec.
See, Siri told me 1 sec. So she's on Brian Jackson time tonight. She's going to take her time a little bit and just go a little slower. Hey Siri, turn on den lights.
Man, you were doing so good.
There we go.
Ah, there we go. Okay.
All right.
Nice.
Good.
Nice.
So this is what's kind of nice about it. It kind of checked all the boxes for me as far as what I needed. I needed a good new ceiling fan. I wanted something that worked with HomeKit and could work with Siri or any other voice control. And I really wanted something where I could control the fan and the lights separately. So again, if I can have the fan off, but I just want to come in and say, turn on my lights, the light would come on even if the fan wasn't running. Now it does come with a decent little remote that you could mount up to the wall. It has a wall bracket for that remote. If you wanted to tack it up on the wall and still have a remote, physical remote for it, you can certainly do that. But that was what I needed is something I really just wanted to tie in with the rest of the home environment, and that's what it did pretty well for.
Yeah.
Got a question in the room asking if this light bulb is a standard LED bulb. It is. It uses 2 light bulbs. You can use standard light bulbs in it, but it comes with 2 LED bulbs with standard bases on them to screw in. So,
oh wow, so they are actually standard size.
Yep.
So interesting.
That's right. So you can choose to use some other ones you want to, but they do come with 2 LED standard bulbs that can go in there. Yeah.
And I just want to tell the listeners right now that how amazed I am. You said you put this in yourself?
Yeah. It's not hard.
And it works. And it works. Yeah. I mean, honestly, yeah. That was now. Of course,
after the fire department left, and gave me the all clear and told me everything was cleaned up and ready to go, then I'm fine.
And I just want everybody to recognize too, right? You can't see Alan's full room right now, and so when he said, "Hey Siri, do this for me," and there was a pause there, it's really his son over there plugging in the lamp, plugging in the fan, turning it out. But that's okay, right? I mean, it was really cool showing there. So
it was we coordinated our little bit pretty well. So I like doing wiring around the house. So I can do that.
And so did you have to? You had no problems with your projector going underneath that, so it wasn't quite as much of a drop down. Yeah.
So yes, that is my projector right above there. The previous fan, I had an old fan that came with the house when we moved in. It was a very kind of old style fan that didn't really care for
lamp shades underneath.
That's right.
Individually,
it actually dropped down lower than this one did. This one is actually like 1.5 inches shorter, so it actually has even more clearance. My projector is positioned just so when it shines its image out, let me see, this way, it does go right underneath the edge of the fan, so there's no interference there.
Oh, that's cool.
And it is really, really close to the projector, as you can see in the image there. That was all very carefully coordinated and planned out. So I had to have a certain size fan to make sure I didn't start just chopping up my projector every time it spun around. So overall, cool. I'm happy. It's nothing fancy as far as like the look and style of the fan, but for the price and for it to be connected in the HomeKit and I can really control it remotely and work with it with my voice, I feel really good about it. So I'm happy with it so far. Yeah. That is I've got the caption up here. The Kavera Simple Connect Wi-Fi fan with HomeKit. Hunterfan.com is the website for the manufacturer, but I bought mine through Amazon and got a pretty good price on it. But you can also buy it straight through. I think Home Depot sells it through their online store. But you just need to make sure it's the one that has the either HomeKit or Alexa integration. They do make ones that look just like them, similar price, that do not have that HomeKit integration or Alexa or Google Home. But if that's something you want, just make sure you got the right one when you do that. So,
cool. Very cool. All right. Well, so did I kind of lose my opportunity to give a bit? Am I getting docked a bit? Because I've got 2 if I want to. I mean, did I lose that opportunity?
I'm going to go ahead and let you do one.
Okay. Thank you. Good. Now you let me do one or 2?
I'll let you do 2. You can do both.
Oh, wow. Okay, cool. All right.
I just did my first one. I'm going to let you do one little ping pong, and it'll be great. Yeah.
Good. Well, so that was cool, Alan. Mine is not going to be as cool. It's going to be useful, but maybe not as cool. And this is, unfortunately, I'm going to go ahead and preface this as something that is really only beneficial to a small group of people, or it might be interesting for a small group of people, but I am incredibly excited about it. So I figure I would share. So this is software.
Okay.
And I'm gonna share some statistical software. And Alan, I know you've done some stats work
Mhm.
with your company, and I think you probably were using what were you using, SPSS or
Yeah.
something like
I
that?
was using
Okay.
SPSS for a long time. Sure.
Okay, yeah. So for those who do statistical work or have a need to run some statistical work, SPSS is a pretty powerful statistical program. Expensive, right? It's something you
Mhm.
actually have to continue to update every year. Generally, it's version whatever 26 now, I think.
Yeah.
So, of course, we have our students doing a lot of statistical work as part of a science major. So I started looking for ways in which we could do some of that same work without the cost. And so I'm going to share with you, Alan. I'll share a window here.
Yep.
Um,
I got it.
okay,
There we go.
so I'm going to share with you. It's called JASP, right? JASP,
Okay.
and it is, as you can see there, it's free. It's open
Mhm.
source. It is a statistical program that runs very, very similar to SPSS with a couple
Mhm.
of caveats. And just as a side, it's the JASP actually does stand for, I think it's Jeffrey's Awesome Statistical Program or something like that, or statistical package. Honestly,
Look,
um,
I'm sold
yeah,
already. That was all I
yeah,
needed to
it's
hear.
so yeah. When I first heard that, I was like, "You've got to be kidding me!" But no, it's out. But it's actually being supported by the University of Amsterdam, and there's a bunch of researchers now that have committed. They basically committed to it and said, "Listen, it's open source, but we have committed to the fact that we're going to keep this going." Right. So, they're constantly giving updates and everything. So, what I wanted to do is I'm going to do just a quick little demo on this. Not do a
Okay.
lot of kind of crazy stuff, but just to kind of show you how this works. So this is something where you can go in and open up. I'm just going to open up some data that we were using for a little study that we had in class. So as you can see, it uses CSV files. So I go and point to a CSV file, it pulls it in, and there's your data. It recognizes what type of data you're using. You can then go up and say, I want to run some descriptives on, the pre-test and the post-test, right? And what's interesting here, Alan, I don't know if you can see this, but it runs by tiles, right? So you've got your
Mhm.
tile here for your data. You click over and you look at your tile for your setup of the statistics, and then you've got your tile here at the end that gives it the output. Um,
Results. Yeah.
yeah, and what's incredibly cool, Alan, if you've done SPSS before, SPSS it's incredibly powerful. But when you run something in SPSS, you run an analysis, you click enter, and it creates its own output file
Yeah.
that
Mhm.
is static, right? So
Yeah.
it is static, like here's the analysis, and if you go and change your data, it doesn't change your output.
Ah, yes. Mhm.
This, however, if I come over and I'm going to drag this out so you can see my results over here, I can go and say, oh, actually, I didn't mean to do the pretest,
Hmm.
or I want to do the transfer test instead, and it is
That is
dynamic.
nice.
It's showing you. So for students, this is fantastic, right? Because I can get them to go and play and say, see what's happening here, right? You can actually click and see what some of these things would do. I can tell it I want to run I want to run an ANOVA
Mhm.
that, has whether or not the conditions differ at a certain time. You can do all that just like you can with SPSS. You can go and
Wow.
run all sorts of things, descriptive. You can run some plots and say that you want, the conditions be here. And so all of this is kind of happening, dynamically. You can go and play with some of the output. All the output can then be exported as a PDF or as an HTML file, or
Yeah,
even
that's
just
nice.
saved and kind of come back in
Mhm.
later. So, I love it. Now, there's a couple of caveats, right? I can't go in and tweak the data too easily because it's pulling in a CSV file. It's actually just mirroring that CSV file. So if I went back to the data, it does
Mhm.
allow you, tells you if you double click, that you can
Mhm.
go and edit the data. What it's going to do is pull up, and of course, you're probably not going to be able to see it because I think it's going to pull up Microsoft Excel, allow me to go in and tweak the CSV, and then
so
it
it
has to
opens up the
dynamically
raw.
come.
It opens up the
Exactly.
actual source of the data itself. You have
Correct.
to edit it there, and then
You
I guess
tweak
do a
it, save
save,
it, and
and
I
then it
haven't found that
populates
to be
here.
incredibly good. I
Yeah.
haven't found that to go back. I have to then go and kind of save it, reopen it, all that stuff. But for free, it's a good price. It's a good price for
Brian, let me
something that
ask.
you're paying a crap load of
Yeah.
money for an SPSS. Yep.
Is this a downloaded? This isn't like
Yes.
it isn't like in a web
No,
browser, right?
you can run. There is a web version where you can go and run it through, I think, Chrome. I think that one may be a paid version, but I can tell you that this particular download, you download it no matter what platform you're on, Windows, PC, and it's free. You have no barriers, no ads, no nothing that pops up. It's truly open source. And it does, like I said, there's some of the analyses are not quite as clean for me as I would use them. If you're setting up some more advanced things like regressions, they do it well, but it's not quite the same level as SPSS. But for the most part, if you're someone who's doing some descriptives and basic probability testing, it's fantastic. And again, for us, it was a big hassle where our students were having to go to university computers to use SPSS. Whereas now we can say, we'll just download it, right? You have a copy, you can use it forever. You can tell on your resume that you have statistical, experience, and you can continue to play with it. So
that is
it's incredibly
nice.
Cool.
Yeah.
So I think,
I stopped.
Alan, I think I shared with you the link if you want to share that at any point, but in the private chat. But the link is, there you go, jas-stats.org.
Yep. So I stopped using SPSS a couple years ago, mainly because the cost and my time using it was fairly limited. So I've just been using some other ad hoc tools I've got access to, and just some other programs.
I mean, you can do a bunch with Excel. You can do a bunch with Excel and all of that, right? But this, if you really want to run stats and have it be then your database, this is great. So again,
wonderful.
Good teaching tool. Also good if you're someone that's kind of wanting to play with lots of different things. Like I got so frustrated using the SPSS where I'd have to set it up, run the analysis, export it, try another one, run it, export it, try another one, continue to save different things. This one you can try and go, well, what if I did this? What if I did this? Does this work better? And you can see it working dynamically, which I think is fantastic. So JASP statistical software, if you haven't tried it, if you have some need for it, even if you're just kind of a stat geek that want to kind of test some things out, it's free and well worth the download. So
man, I like that. Well, not bad, Brian. Yeah, not bad. So and it was free too. We'll take free. So compared to my $160 one I had to give,
free was a good price. Yep.
Yeah, it is.
Price.
That's really good. So yes, JASP open source statistics. Brian's got the website on the bottom of the screen, jasp-stats.org, jaspstats.org. All right.
Yep.
Well, let's keep with the free mentality for my next pick. And Brian, I'm going to go ahead and tell you, mine's a rerun.
Oh no.
I looked at
one I did. Are you stealing one that I did, or the one that you did?
No. I'm doing one of mine again.
Okay.
Because when we did it 2.5 years ago, I gave this as a one of my recommendations. We did it kind of at the tail end of an episode. It wasn't video, so I couldn't really show it. Just kind of describe it. And I think, this is something I'm still using, and I still love this website so much that I want to bring it up as another recommendation for this episode. So, Brian, that I am a movie guy. I watch a lot of movies. I run a film society here in my town. I run a film festival every year. I host a podcast doing film reviews. I mean, it's kind of my second job is doing film work. Not actually making them. I just watch them and talk about them. That's basically what I do. But there's a website, and I know I brought this up to you a while back, but it's I still love it just because I think it's a good example of a website that just works and does exactly everything I would want it to do. It's a website for logging and reviewing the films you watch. and sharing with a community of people, friends and other people you want to follow. It's almost like a Facebook for just movie watching, if you could kind of think about it that way. And it's a service called Letterboxd. And I'm going to go ahead and bring it up on the screen here. Letterboxd, and it's like the word letterbox, but without the E and the ed at the end. So Letterboxd without the last E in there. Letterboxd.com. It is a free site. There is a paid version of it. I'll explain the paid version in a little bit, but you can get more than enough of the features for the free version and never have to pay a thing and still get a lot of value from this. So once you create an account and you log in, you basically can go in, and anytime you watch a film, you can log it and say that, yes, I watched that film. You can choose to give it a rating on a star rating. You can choose to write a review, like a written review about the film if you wish to. And then along the way, you can go and start following other people on the platform. So let's say if you have there's a family members and you guys all want to share kind of what you're watching, you go in, everybody creates their own account. If you follow each other, kind of create a little group of people who are following each other, then every time you go into Letterboxd, you can see recent films they've logged and reviewed right on the website. And then you can go in and comment on their reviews if you want to, and vice versa. And then if you see a film that they've put up there that they saw and gave a really good review to, you can actually add it to your own watch list that you keep up with. That kind of helps you keep track of any films that you want to make sure you see and log in the future. So let me show, for example, here. Here's the homepage for me. It's showing me several people I follow and films that they have seen just recently. So this guy just watched Top Gun, the original one. And so I'm going to bring that up here. So if I can go in, I see he gave it a rating of 3.5 stars. Now over here in this little side box, it actually shows me my logging of that particular film. So I have watched Top Gun. 4 stars is what I gave it. And I can actually go in and say, well, I'm going to go ahead and add another review to it, or I'm going to do something and write a commentary about the film right here. I can also see right here, I'm viewing this, but I can also see that my other friends, other people that I follow, 13 of them have logged that they have watched Top Gun, and I can see some of their ratings just by scanning across. If I want to go in and read their review, I can click on them. And then this guy gave it 3.5 stars, gave a 1-line review. Does say that there may be some spoilers. It will flag you. Like, you have the ability when you write a review, if your review contains any spoilers, you can check a box and say it has spoilers. So when somebody else comes to see the review, there will be a box on it that says this review contains spoilers. Do you want to read it or not? And then you have the chance to do that, which is kind of, for somebody like me, that's really important. I don't want to be spoiled just reading somebody else's quick review of a film. But I can actually go in and see the actual film itself. It's got some really nice layouts and nice big images for each film with a little description. It shows me all the cast. If I want to click on like Tom Cruise, it'll go take me to a page of all of Tom Cruise's movies I can see in one view. Here's what's really great, and this is new since the last time we talked about it a couple years ago, is I can set up all the streaming services that I currently subscribe to, and it is pulling in from the Just Watch app over here in this corner.
Awesome.
And it is showing me all the services that I subscribe to that I can currently rent, buy, or stream that movie right now. So even
Very
Netflix, if I hit the play button, it's going to open up Netflix and start playing the movie right away. So again, Top Gun, I'm seeing that, hey, I gave it a 4, but overall, all the 1,500 fans that have rated it have given it a 3.3 average. So I'm a little above average in my rating of the original Top Gun. I can see my friends down here and all the different ratings they've given it. And then I can start to read some of the reviews kind of in a more of a blog style that people have made about the film. And if I saw a review I like, I can like it. I can choose to go in and let's see. Nope, that's the wrong way. It jumps me out. Some people who are actually film critics will use this to put like the first paragraph of their full review and then link to their website to read the full review, which is fine. So again, if I wanted to see all the films with Tom Cruise, I can click on Tom Cruise, and now it's showing me all the films. And if I say, look, I want to see the ones I haven't seen, I can turn on this little And now it's faded out all the ones that I have seen or at least logged. So now I can look and say, oh, here's a couple films of his that, well, I've seen most of these, but I just haven't actually clicked that I have. So they're showing up as not viewed. If I see a film, I'm like, you know what? That's a good one. I want to add that. I can click on it and say, add it to my watch list. And now I have a running watch list where I can see all the films and I can see that right here. And there are those films that have been added to that list. I can actually see my own diary of films that I have tracked and watched. This is so far the month of May, the films I've seen and logged and put in there. I can scroll all the backwards and start to see every film I've seen and if I gave it ratings or not. I haven't done a ratings on a lot of these, it looks like, so I need to go back and do that.
So Alan, when you put in there,
it's a nice way of keeping track of everything.
Yeah, when you put a new one in, is it logging by here's when you added it, or can you tell it here's when I saw it?
So let's just say if I went to Top Gun Maverick.
Mm-hmm.
So this gives you a pop-up window, and I can specify the date I watched it and choose the date and put it in there. So if I saw one I know a month ago and I want to log it as a month ago for whatever reason, I can. By default, it's going to log it the day that you log it, but I can go back and change the time on it. I can give it my review. I can give it my star rating. I can give it an overall heart or not like, and then give it some tags to help people find it a little bit easier as well, like certain tags like Netflix or Blockbuster or something, things that people may want to filter their movie sorting by. Yeah. I love this website because it's intuitive. It's fun to play with and use. I love the social environment of it. So I can go in here and see my network. These are all people that I'm following currently. So any of these people who put up a review or put up a logging of a film, it gets kind of flagged for me on my homepage. I can see people that are following me. There's not many of them, but got a few. And I can go and see any reviews I've made over the years, kind of collect in one place. I can manage lists. Like, let's say if I have a list, I want to kind of create a list of, this is top nostalgic summer movies. I got interviewed by a newspaper. They were asking for me to give like my top nostalgic summer movies growing up. So I actually went through my list and let me turn this off, and picked the films and rated them as like the ones I felt like were like my favorite summer blockbuster movies. So now I can share that list. I can either make it private or I can share it with my community and let everybody see my list and they can comment on it as well. So it's just the interactivity of it is so much fun. If you're a movie person at all, or let's say you're a family and all of you like to kind of share some movie suggestions, it's a great way to do it because you can actually keep track of who's watching what and what their thought of it and whether it's something you want to add to your watch list and review or watch on your own as well. So anyway, that's Letterboxd. If you did get to the paid version, it is only $19 a year. That's it. It's a very, very simple subscription. But what does
that give you?
You know what? I don't even remember what it does. I know it does something. I don't remember what that is. Because I just had the $19 subscription for so long.
Yeah.
Let's just see here if I can find out what it is. They do a really great job on their website too. Then you can get an email digest from them where they'll put up some great articles. They'll put up kind of show you the most reviewed films that week and all that. All right, here we go. Free. Pro, there's no third-party ads. Yeah, ads are the big thing. You do get like a nice annual report at the end of the year, kind of showing you stats on all of your entries and most watched films. And then you can filter films by the streaming services that you belong to. So in other words, if I say only show me films that are available on Netflix, it can do that. Now you can still jump to Netflix from it, even from a free account, but to do some really nice filtering and to be able to kind of customize your views by just the streaming services you want, that's the $19 a year. The $49 a year is just if you really want to be a supporter and you get your name listed as a patron on their Patreon page. That's really it. That's the only thing that the $49 a year does. I'm at the $19 a year level because I do like not having the ads, and $19 a year was worth it for me as much as I use this site. So, so that is, cool. Let me bring up the website on that. That is Letterboxd letterboxd.com. I just think it's a lot of fun. If you're into movies at all, if you find yourself watching a few a month and you want to keep track of a watch list of films that you may want to see in the future, this is a really excellent way to do it. And I'll go ahead and tell you, if you join Letterboxd, please let me know. I'll be happy to follow you back. I think I am listed just as Alan Jackson, pretty easy on Letterboxd. I'll have to can't remember what my exact. No, I'm sorry. I'm UNC Allen, but I think if you search for Alan Jackson, yes, you will find me on there. So there we go. That's Letterboxd.
Cool. All right. Well, I'm even though that was a reuse of a previous one, I usually forget everything that you bring up within a month or so. So I didn't remember that. So that's great.
Well, the funny thing is the last several months of bit suggestions, I've actually been using ones that I did just a few months ago, and you have not paid attention. You haven't even you haven't called me out on it.
Zero knowledge of that. Yep.
It works for me. That's good.
Yeah, I do have to question where you said your friends and it showed 13. I'm pretty sure I'm going to call bluff on that, right? 13 friends. And that was just 13 that happened to commented on that. So that means that you have more than 13, which there's some escalation going on within that algorithm. But yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, I haven't really jumped into the whole people who watch movies and do as much with movies as I do. Haven't found quite as many around me as that. So my network is not huge on Letterboxd, but it's the people I care about. They know who they are.
Right. So. There you go. I mean, you know, it's in 13. I was actually surprised if you actually are considering those friends. But connections, that's a different story. Okay. Well, that's good, Alan. Yeah. You too, man, 2 for 2 for decent bits today. So nice job.
And I've actually got a special little an extra tip to give after your next one here. So go ahead. Gosh. Go ahead, Brian. Yeah, go with your second bits here.
All right. So my second bit. So I gave some software earlier. Now I'm going to shift to an accessory, an actual physical accessory. So Alan, let me give you my my scenario that I had that I tried to fix recently. So I've never really had an ideal computer bag. So I've had a backpack recently, but the backpack is huge where I can carry books and I can carry a computer and all that sort of stuff. So it's big. But for me, I go to campus, I go to my office, I get my computer out, put it on my desk. And then when I'm going to class, I really don't want to carry the big backpack. There's just no reason for me to have that. Sure. So I was in the mood for a sleeve, and I will show you just an example. So this is a sleeve I had before, which is just a Logic kind of simple neoprene type sleeve. I've had that in the past, right? And what's great about this is that it's flexible. It doesn't take up much space. The downside is that it rains a lot where I am. So I'm carrying around this thing that even though it's neoprene, it doesn't feel like it's, it retains water, right? When it gets wet as I'm carrying it around, it's a little flimsy. If I were to drop the computer in that neoprene sleeve, I'm really not that confident in the ability to protect it. So I began looking for something that wasn't that big, but that would waterproof protect the computer, but also have some structure to it, to where if I were to drop it, have a way of protecting it. So Alan,
Brian, hold on just a second. I'm going to try to do something here. I'm flipping sides with you because I'm going to do this. There we go. I'm giving you the full screen in case you have something to share in a little bit. So yeah.
Okay.
All right.
So for those who couldn't see, there's the old version, the old thing that I had, the neoprene. It had a kind of a pocket on the front so I could put battery and or additional charger and all of that, but very easy. Wasn't really what I was looking for. So I went looking for something with more structure, and what I found, Alan, you want to go ahead and share my screen? What I ended up going with was the Thule Gauntlet MacBook sleeve. And what this is that is an actual fairly hard structure sleeve there. So Thule is, for those who don't know, Thule is the company that does like rooftop boxes and everything. They're fairly popular out here in the Portland areas. They have a headquarters here, but they also, of course, made this bag. Now, the cool part about it is, let me go over and click through this, and then I'll show it to you in person. Is that you can put your computer in, and as you can see, it's got little straps there that keep it so that you could actually open this up, and it doesn't fully open wide open. It'll open so that you could use it in its case if you wanted to. Then let's see. And I also wanted something that wasn't just going to be the sleeve for the computer, because when I go, I want to carry dongles, and I want to carry maybe a battery, or I'm sorry, the charger. So this has a little flap that's back behind the part that opens up to where I can slide in the charger, I can slide in some pens, hard drive, that sort of stuff. So as you can see, I can also put some papers in. There's a little area for some documents to go in, a notepad, that sort of thing. So I found that this has been pretty cool. Now, this, I found it at Best Buy. I didn't buy it at Best Buy. It was actually, I think, $100 when I saw it at Best Buy. I was like, oh my gosh, I love this. And then I found the price and thought, nope, no, that's not what I want. So I ended up buying mine used. I found mine on eBay. Someone had it. It was said it was almost new. Bought it, I think, for $40. I made an offer on it, bought it for 40, got it, and it seems brand new. I don't have anything that's missing from it. It seems like it works perfect. I just noticed today that I was doing a search for it. I think they're down to about $60. I even found one of them on a different site that was maybe even priced down to like $30 or something. Now, I will say the reviews of this are kind of up and down. I think some people are like, wow, this is too much structure, right? It's a little frustrating. It doesn't really work the way it's supposed to. Me personally, I have really enjoyed it. So Alan, if you want to bring me back full screen here, I can show a few things. So here I'm gonna show it to you. I'm gonna take the strap off because it tends to get in the way. But here it is, right? As you can see, the width of it, right?
Question. Yeah, I was going to ask. So you said it was a kind of a semi-hard shell. It's not, like a complete hard plastic, but it's.
No, as you can see, it can push in, but it's a pretty hard, almost like a hard rubber that has some kind of, depth to it, right?
All right.
And as you can see here, I can push on it, but it takes quite a bit, especially on the corners.
It's not like a soft bag. It's got a little structure to it. Okay.
Nope. And so as you open it up here, as you can see, I could have the computer down here, which will strap in. Sorry about that. Figure out where I am.
Yep.
So I can strap it in, right? It has this cool little flap that if I were to bring that down, you can see I've got lots of stuff in there. I can also Velcro that up, right? So that it's always out of the way, right? So I could have the laptop here. I could open this up, open the laptop, and as you can see, I'm holding just the bottom. So it actually keeps its form, right? It's got the little straps, okay? So yeah, I mean, it's, question just came in, does it have structure to absorb an impact? It does. I'm actually pushing pretty hard on the corner here, especially the corners. They're pretty tough. Now it is, like I said, I'm not going to say it's plastic. It almost feels like a rubbery type feel to it. But it does have some structure to it. So, I would feel very comfortable if I dropped this. If I dropped the computer with this from a handheld height, I would have zero concern that the computer would be damaged. Now, if you throw it against the wall, maybe, right? But it's
right, sure.
Yeah, and I also like the fact that it was, handle, okay, which I prefer to be able to just grab, walk with the small briefcase. But not be so big that it feels like you're taking everything with you where you're going. It really is just the computer, maybe a pad, some pens, charger, and that's it. So I keep this in my office when I get to school with all my backpack and the books. And then when I grab my computer to go to class, I slide it in this, zip it up, and it's got my dongles and everything in there with it. So
what's the what's the price on this?
So, well, like I said, when I bought it on eBay for about 40, I think now I'm going to go Let me just look really quick, and I'll tell you what it's being
Sure.
purchased for. So right now it's $64.95 at Best Buy. That's
Okay.
13-inch MacBook size. So it's pretty slick. I
They
would
make
say,
different
there's
sizes. They make different
they
sizes
do.
of
I
it.
think this is called the Gauntlet. I'm pretty sure. I have to look at that. I think there's one for, yeah, there's a 16-inch as well.
Okay.
And this is a couple of years old. I think they've started to kind of have a thinner one that doesn't bump out in the front as much,
Mm-hmm.
because therefore it doesn't have room for the charger and everything like I have. If you just want the kind of more thin sleeve, I wanted something that I could carry, especially going and making sure that I have all my dongles and everything that I need, maybe my AirPods, that sort of thing. So I'm just going for meetings. But it's been pretty good. Like I said, I was a little
Good.
nervous when I read some of the reviews, because some people were bashing it, but I've been very happy with it. Especially,
Cool.
I'm not sure I would be really happy with it spending $100 on it, but
Right.
$60 for
50, 60
something that is
bucks.
going to protect. Yeah,
Mhm.
I'm feeling pretty good about it. So
Well, I love my bag, my computer bag, but it is a bit bulkier than I'd ideally like for it to be.
yeah,
And I do like having the laptop stay within the bag and having the bag open, and it kind of just stays in there, almost like a little bit of a workstation for you. That I think is pretty
yep,
cool.
yep,
Um,
yep. I
so
agree.
that's something I gotta kind of keep in mind with that for sure.
Yeah, so if you want
I'm
something
putting the
smaller, but you
website
don't
up
want just a
there.
sleeve. Yeah. If
Yeah.
you don't just want a sleeve, something that is only your computer and that's it, but you want to be able to carry some other things, but you certainly don't want a big, bag that's going to be bulky and kind of tempt you to take too many other things with you. I would certainly give this a look. So,
Okay.
and I like
Great.
the company. I like what they do. I love, again, they're the ones that do the top, car carriers, the ones you see on the
Hmm.
top for, skiing or for
Okay.
taking equipment with you. So they're known for protecting things. Um, yeah, I've been pretty happy with
Cool.
it. So
No, that's great.
yeah,
I actually may be checking into that because I'd like to have a secondary bag that I can just take when I know I'm just going somewhere and I just need my laptop and that's all I want,
yeah.
without having to take the rest of my gear with me at places. So
Yeah.
good.
And just,
Well,
Alan,
good.
if you do go and look for something like on eBay, like I did, you'll see several of these. Just make sure there is kind of two versions of them. Again, one that I wanted, which had the kind of convex side on the outside where you knew you'd be able to slide in some other things. There are some versions that don't have that are thinner. So make sure you're looking at the right one, the Gauntlet, if this is what you're interested in. And you'll see
All
some
right.
people reselling them. And there is a shoulder strap. So obviously, if you're buying it used, double check to make sure it has a shoulder strap in it and that sort of thing. But
So
there's several out there, and you can get a good decent.
the gauntlet
The
is what you're
Gauntlet,
looking for then. Okay. The
the
gauntlet.
Thule Gauntlet is what I have. Correct.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Perfect.
Yep. Yep.
Okay. Good. Not bad. Not bad.
Yeah. All right.
Four good suggestions there, Brian. Now, we've done our two. I want to cap us off with, it's not really a recommendation. It's more of a tip suggestion that I think kind of fits in with everything else if I can. And it's just because I actually got into a conversation with somebody about this the other day, and it's such a great service tool that you can take advantage of, but it's also one that's very easy to misuse or not use effectively. Um, so Amazon, we all know Amazon. Many of us do our shopping on Amazon. Yes.
Amazon.
Yeah,
Amazon.
it's an
Okay.
up and
Yeah.
coming online shopping store.
I think that's going to do well. Yeah.
I hear good things. So Amazon has a function that allows you to set it up to where 0.5% of your purchases can go automatically and get funneled to a nonprofit organization of your choice, which is really nice. And a 0.5% may not sound like a lot, but think about it. This is ongoing. You set it up and say, I want it to go in perpetuity until I turn it off. Every purchase I make on Amazon, 0.5% goes to this charity. So if you're someone who's buying thousands of dollars throughout the year of things on Amazon, that actually starts to get some money if you got enough people doing this. It's a service called Smile, or Amazon Smile. And let me bring up the website on this. You can visit it smile.amazon.com. And the idea is that when you join Amazon Smile, it's basically setting you up to where your Amazon account that you already have will then be officially linked to that organization. Now, for example, there's an organization in town that I'm a part of that just started doing this. They registered their nonprofit with Amazon Smile. So I was able to go into Amazon Smile and say, okay, I'm searching for the United Arts Council of Catawba County. And sure enough, there it was. It came up listed as a nonprofit that is taking part in the Amazon Smile program. So I chose it as my Amazon Smile recipient. So now that means any purchase I make through Amazon Smile will go to 0.5% will go to this charity automatically. They will get checks from Amazon for all those proceeds for however many people list them as their recipient. So it's a really nice program. Here's the caveat, and here's the tip part of it. Okay. So once you set yourself up, you go to smile.amazon.com to set this up, and it walks you through and says, okay, with, basically, you choose your favorite charity. And then here's the key. You have to shop at smile.amazon.com. So if you just go to amazon.com, it doesn't matter what your account's linked to. If you don't go to smile.amazon.com to do your shopping, nothing happens to benefit that nonprofit. Now, when you go to smile.amazon.com, it's the exact same Amazon store. It's no different.
Okay.
It's not like
so
you're
it's
seeing
not limited.
You're not seeing a limited
Okay.
subset store. You're seeing the full Amazon store. It's just another website address to get you there.
Yep.
So if you do this, and I do encourage you, if there's a nonprofit that is eligible and you want to help support them, this is a really simple, easy way to do it. But here's what I recommend you do is anywhere I actually have on my web browser, I've got a favorites button at the top for Amazon. And I made sure that my bookmark for Amazon goes to the smile.amazon.com. Because otherwise, again, if you just are clicking a link from somewhere that sends you to Amazon, it's going to send you to the non-Smile version by default. It's going to be very easy for you to just be in that other non-Smile version and make your purchase and completely overlook the fact that you're not kicking some money to that nonprofit. So I changed all my bookmarks on my browser, all my favorites, anything that had to do with Amazon. I made sure I went in and changed it to the smile.amazon.com link. So whenever I go to Amazon and I click on that smile button, the Amazon favorites I've got, it's taking me to the Smile version by default. Okay. So that's just really important note. And again, I've missed it several times. Somebody sent me a link of something on Amazon. I click it and I'm going to the normal Amazon site and I make the purchase and I completely forgot. Oh man, I just made a $500 purchase on Amazon and that could have sent us some dollars to that nonprofit. So you have to make yourself go to the smile.amazon.com version to do it. So setting yourself up with your own bookmarks to that version. If you have a favorite on your bookmark list, or maybe like these up here where you can create some of your hot favorites that you use on a regular basis, just go in and you can actually edit the bookmark and make sure you're putting it as the smile.amazon.com link instead, and kind of try to force yourself to get to that version of the site as much as you can. So
very cool.
Anyway,
so can I just quickly add something, Alan?
Yeah, sure.
On that, because that's great. I had forgotten about this and had not turned that on. I just went on because I was going to ask you if there's any way to do it through the app, through the mobile app. And I just went into the mobile app, and you can turn it on, the mobile app, so that your mobile app is only going with Smile, so you don't have to worry about the web browsing. But good. I am seeing that it will work with iOS version 12 or above. It does say that in order to use Amazon Smile on this device, we'll periodically ask you to enable features like notifications, which will allow us to be sustainable and allow us to continue to donate to your charity. So it's possible it may say we'd like to turn on notifications so that we can let you know when there's a deal or something. Small price to pay if you're using the app and allowing just all those purchases to go. Because I don't know about you, I use the mobile app a lot to say, oh, I need batteries quick
Yeah.
to be able to buy that. So yeah.
Yeah, you're right. I had forgotten that about the mobile version. Yeah, the mobile version, you can set it to be the default store.
Yeah.
You just the trade-off may be is that they may be encouraging you through some notifications and other pop-ups to share more data with them for their benefit, for Amazon's benefit. On the desktop, it's a little more. You got to remember to go to the right website to do it. And the shame of it is they look identical. I mean, that's the problem, is that you go and it's hard to think about it. So just kind of anywhere you can make those bookmarks to smile.amazon.com and try to force yourself to use that button, that link, that bookmark you set up. That will get you to the right Amazon you need to be able to contribute to your nonprofit. So it's a great program. Cool. I just think they made it a little tricky on the desktop version. Which, they're giving up 0.5% of their proceeds. So, I mean, I'm sure I'm sure Amazon doesn't want to just trumpet that out to everybody and make it super easy for everybody to do it all the time.
Sure.
Right. But that is, if you really want to benefit the organization, just make sure you're going to the right store the right way, hitting that website the right way. But I do encourage everybody to sign up for this. I mean, I think it's a great program. There's a lot of great nonprofits on there. You can search and make sure you find the one that's you're interested in supporting, and then you can change it over time. But if you just choose one at the beginning, you never have to worry about that again. Just as long as you're going to the right website, all your proceeds, all purchases will go to benefit them. So, all right. That was it.
So Alan, let's see. My bag costs, let's say $60, and then the JAS was free. Your ceiling fan cost $160. Is that right?
$160. Yeah.
And then the other
letterbox
website was free.
Is free.
Like $20 a year, but free. We'll say free.
You don't need it,
right? Okay.
Free. Yep.
But you just brought up a charity, which I think you're hoping kind of deducts from your price, right? So you're thinking that kind of puts you down.
I'm going for the Good Mojo tonight, so that's going to help me out a little bit.
That's okay. That's all right. I think we did good. Yeah. I mean, other than my time management at the beginning, but it sounds like you did okay under pressure. I'll go back and review it later for that first 10-15 minutes to see how you did.
Yeah, actually, I don't want to ever see that first 10 minutes again.
Was there language? Did we need to actually put a rating up there?
No, there was nothing there. I just know it was like hitting that. There's a button on my screen because I'm kind of serve as the producer on the show that just has the go live button. And here I am just sitting here by myself saying, okay, I guess I'm going to do this. I'm going to hit go live. And I think to myself, I give presentations all the time. I do this kind of stuff with no problem, but I'm like, I've never done it where I'm just talking to a computer and I don't see anybody's face. And that's a new one on me. So I've got to get better at that. So, it was fun.
I apologize, but I'm proud of you for going with it. And I kind of half-heartedly expected just to pop, and then it said, "Sorry, this show has been canceled for the day."
No, the show must go on, Brian.
The show must
go on.
Even
if it's just
I'm
one
very
brother.
Proud of you. Very nice.
Well,
very nice.
Even though I did all this great stuff at the beginning of telling everybody about the website address and the emails that they can contact, I'll go ahead and give you a chance to do it again, Brian, just to kind of stay in the habit of it. So
thanks.
How can people
that's
reach
what you
us
did as a filler? That's what you did as a filler.
Absolutely. I know how to kill some time. I had to burn some minutes. So
nice. Well, as Alan said early in the episode, you can send us an email at info. Sorry, I jumped the gun for you. info@themesh.tv. So info@themesh.tv. Send us a message. Tell us, whether or not you've had any experience with some of our bits, whether you want to complain about Alan reusing his bits, or if you'd like to. Well, it's not. I mean, anybody that was listening to us 2.5 years ago is not still listening now, so that's okay, right? We might as well start just refreshing everything, Alan. Right?
Let's just rerun old episodes and pretend like we'll just rerun and pretend like they're new ones. And I think that'll be fun.
That's kind of what I thought we were doing today. That's why I was late. I was like, oh, wait, we're actually going to run a real one? Okay. So you can also go to our website, which is www.brothers-in-tech.com, brothers-in-tech.com, and see old episodes, and do try to go back and see what kind of things we're reusing. And and give us some feedback. We'd love to know if there are some topics you'd like us to dive into. We're going to jump back into some new topics next week, and we're kind of excited to see what you guys would like us to get into. So,
all right.
Yeah.
Great. Well, thanks everybody for watching or listening tonight, whichever you may have done. And this has been Brothers in Tech, our show for helping talk through technology for the home, your family, your personal life, making technology work for us and be as entertaining as possible. So next time we'll get together, be another topic we'll discuss, and we'll have another suggestions episode in a few weeks. But we'll be here every Wednesday night, kind of live or running out those Wednesday evenings with our episodes. But you can always download the audio podcast if you are more inclined to want to do that and listen to us on the go. You can do that as well. All right. Thanks, Brian. Good seeing you, man.
Thank you. Do I need to stick around for like 10 or 15 minutes to make up for my time, or?
Yeah, you're in penalty box. I'm going to make you stay. I got some homework for you to do
All right,
make
thanks.
up for. So, all right, everybody, take care. Oh, hold on. I got to play out the video. I forgot this. All right. Thanks, everybody.
Bye. All right. Bye-bye.